Hi, my name is Shannon. I am 29 years old and I am a mom. Today's challenge is to talk about what reading means to you, or to talk about a reading experience that you had that was meaningful or important in some way. And I know most of these videos that are going to be submitted are going to be positive and bubbly and optimistic and uplifting. And while I feel that way about reading, the story that I want to talk to you about is a sad story. I've talked about this a few times on my channel, but very minimally and in like a glossing over type of fashion, but I want to take a few minutes to actually talk about this event. So this story is about how a book was able to lift me out of something that was really, really hard to go through. And I guess that I'm just gonna start at the beginning. I had my youngest daughter in April of 2015, and when she was 3.5 months old, August 2015, she started to have major seizures. Out of nowhere, she was convulsing and seizing and post-ictal and not well. It came out of absolutely nowhere. She never had one, but when she started having them, she had a bunch of them. She ended up having to be hospitalized. They ran so many tests. They thought it was nothing. They sent her home, and then 2 days later she had to be readmitted because the seizures became 5 times worse and more frequent, and they were really, really scary. If you've never seen a 3-month-old seizing uncontrollably on a hospital gurney, like, I really hope you never have to experience that. Yeah, it's one of the most difficult things I've ever had to experience my whole life. Okay. So during her second time she was hospitalized, things were a lot more serious because the seizures hadn't gone away after her last discharge. Medication wasn't helping. So I stood by her side every day in that hospital. I didn't go to work. I couldn't go to work, couldn't even function. I was staying in a fold-out couch, bed, chair next to her hospital crib. It wasn't even a bed, it was a crib, for like 5 days. Like 3 of those days I was wearing the same clothes and the same dirty pair of underwear until someone could bring me clothing, because the children's hospital is like over an hour away from our house and everyone that we know. And so during the days I was taking care of, you know, my 3.5-month-old who was covered in leads, and she had an EEG on her head and IVs, and she looked so withered and so lethargic, and just, it was scary because I had to sit there every day not knowing if she was going to be okay, if she was going to live or die. We didn't know what was wrong with her. You know, this is not normal for a 4-month-old. We did not know what was going inside of her body, and that's terrifying. So every night that I was there, that second hospitalization, I had nothing to do except read. And the book that I had brought with me was Why We Broke Up by Daniel Handler, for no real reason other than it was recommended to me and I thought that it would be a nice book to read. So every night while I sat on the ledge of the hospital room window overlooking the busy street and the parking garage, I got to read this book, and I got to feel like everything wasn't so bad. And I loved this book. It made me feel so good, even though the subject matter is about someone breaking up. And it's a part of the reason of why I don't ever think I want to read it again, or I'm scared to read again, is I don't know if I really liked it the way I think I liked it, or if it just happened to be exactly what I needed in that moment of my life. Reading is never going to make your problems go away. But what it can do is give you some space. It can give you separation for a couple hours every evening. It can give you a different place to go. And it can give you the ability to remember that there are good things. There's art, there's beauty, there's love, and that there is things in this life that's worth fighting for. Even when you're faced with some of the most terrifying things in your entire life. Reading is something that anybody can do. Anybody can experience it. Anyone can learn about it. And you have infinite possibilities when you're reading, when you're lost in the pages of something, when your true life is too hard to handle and you need an escape. That's what reading is for. Reading is amazing. It's unlike anything else, and it helps people. Thanks.